Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's me, Weep here, back with a brand new What If. What if Naruto was a Titan shifter from Attack on Titan? If you guys have not seen Attack on Titan, please go watch the anime first or read the manga. It's kind of going to have some spoilers in here. And anyway, if you guys remember, I kind of made a first part for this very same series 3 months ago. Yeah, it's been a while. But I decided that after re-watching and rereading my script for that, it did not fit into the Naruto universe that much at all. And after watching and rewatching Attack on Titan up to the newest episode, episode 4 of Season 4 of Attack on Titan, at the moment of this recording, I've decided that I'm going to be restarting the series from scratch. I know one part's a big loss, but I think this will make much more sense. This part's going to be 40 minutes, just that way it's part 1 and 2. Sorry about that, that's my fault. So I'm making up for it by making this extra long part. I hope that's okay with you guys. Anyhow, let's just get into part 1 for this new rendition of What If Naruto Was a Titan Shifter. Okay, so first things first, there's a few things I have to clarify for this new rendition of the What If that I made. I made a community post about it where I talk about it, but because a lot of you probably don't see my community posts, I'll go through the list again just so that everyone's aware. Here are the most different changes that are in this version of the What If compared to what I did originally. Number 1, Naruto has the Armored Titan as his Titan form. That's one of the 9 Titans that he received. Naruto's life will not only last 13 years after he receives the form, like in the actual anime Attack on Titan, because he's an Uzumaki, which if you are here and an Attack on Titan fan but are not a Naruto fan, that basically means that Naruto has a longer lifespan, like more long than most humans, because the Uzumaki clan, for example, Hashirama's wife, lived for easily 120 years, I believe. I might be wrong, please don't quote me. And was still pretty, like, not senile and was still capable before she died. So, and she was able to actually transfer the Nine Tails to Kushina during that time. So they have a long and very healthy natural energy for their life energy, that is. So that makes Naruto not have the effect of the 13 years as shortened. So they'll be canceling each other out, kind of, which I'll explain more now than I did in the community post. Basically what happens in Attack on Titan is the Titan form burns through the body's cells and their cell regeneration. That's why a Titan shifter's body heals extremely fast when they have a Titan, is because their regenerative abilities are heightened from the Titan's power, and it also is what kills them slowly is from that 13 years, is because their cells are regenerating and dying so quickly that their body can't keep up, and that's why they die. However, Naruto, in this rendition, of course, of this What If, has chakra, as well as being an Uzumaki. He already naturally heals faster. So the effect of the rate that he'd be healing faster is less of a rate than what, let's say, Eren would have, or anyone else from Attack on Titan. Next one, Ymir / the Eldians in the Narutoverse. I'll be getting into about what happens and what the Eldians are. If you don't know what that is, this What If, this first episode, will be long, and I'll probably be talking about some of the statistics and things that are going into this at first, and then I'll be getting into the actual story. Anyhow, hopefully this version will make more sense than what I did in my previous rendition, where I didn't even talk about the Eldians or Ymir, which are really important to the Titans. So yeah, this will probably make more sense and also be more originally make sense storyboard-wise, and just have more story beats with the actual Naruto story too. Anyhow, after that, Naruto's Titan form will not be changed by being a Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. So originally Kurama's effect on the Titan form was I made it that Kurama's chakra would make Naruto's Attack Titan form, because in the original one that I made, he had the Attack Titan, which he has the Armored in this version, because I think it makes more sense for his character. But anyhow, the Nine Tails will not affect his Titan form, so he won't have any fur or anything like a Beast Titan, since that doesn't really make much sense. Since in the first version, he looked more like the Beast Titan with the fur on his body, and that could be confusing. So here's a list of also, that I'm going to name out, of all of the known people in the world currently, before the start of the What If, before everything in Naruto starts, who have the 9 Titans. Minato Namikaze has the Armored Titan. Orochimaru has the Beast Titan. Hidan has the Warhammer Titan. And the female Titan, Jaw Titan, and and as well as the founding titan are unknown. So those 3 characters who have those 3 titans are unknown who possess them for now. Deidara possesses the Colossal Titan, Itachi Uchiha possesses the Attack Titan, and Sasori has the Cart Titan. Now that I have listed all the titans, except for a few, which are now have the titans, I'd say it's pretty safe to say that we can start the What If. Before I get into the actual start of the What If, however, I have to go over what happened with the previous user of the Armored Titan, the last warrior before, well, Naruto. Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash. We see him fighting now during the Third Great Ninja War. As Minato's about to throw a teleportation kunai, he throws it directly. As he teleports, something pierces him in the back. What's going on? Minato would be thinking. How do they predict this? Minato is directly behind someone who's about to bite their hand, as we see the user of the Armored Titan, who currently resides in the Stone Village, is shocked, as we see behind him that the person who was trying to stab Minato was actually trying to stab the person in between Minato and the Armored Titan who's currently there. Minato's body would intake the serum. Something inside of him would begin to change as he feels it. He's losing it. What's going on? Minato would lose all conscious thought as he would change into a pure Titan, one of the monsters that roam across the Naruto world. The Shinobi world has ginormous monsters called Titans. The Titans have been around for as long as anyone could remember in conscious thought at this point, though no one could remember quite why they existed. The Titans could be formed from nature, as so they thought, from chakra, as they would find random Titans found from villages that would come out of nowhere, as well as ones that would just wander throughout the mountains. There had to be hundreds at this point, and some of the Shinobi's jobs were to take down the Titans and protect villages from them. Anyhow, as Minato was now transformed into a pure Titan, using one of the Stone Village's technologies, being this Titan spinal fluid that they inject into someone who has this quality, a trait that allows them to turn into a Titan, something that not everyone has. Minato would have it. As he transformed into a Titan, he would immediately begin devouring people, as he bites down on the former Armored Titan and devours him, taking his powers. Minato, who isn't an Uzumaki by the way, doesn't have that same lifespan extension, meaning that Minato only has 13 years left to live after this. As Minato intakes the Armored Titan, he realizes what happened, as he turns back to normal. The rest of the Leaf forces that had been following with Minato along had seen him transform and then return back, as they'd be shocked, with the Leaf now gaining its first ever Titan shifter, aside from one other person, with that other person being someone rather unsavory in the village's history. The Leaf Village would rejoice as the power balances between the villages would now be starting to even out, as the original conflict this time in the Third Great Ninja War was not only the original causes, but also the fact that the Titans were being captured by the Stone Village, who was trying to gather all 9 Titans, as well as the Jinchuriki, who were also being hunted down. The 9 Jinchuriki of the 9 Bijou, and the 9 Titans from the 9 Titan shifters. These 18 people who would be in the world would be some of the most heavily prejudiced against, as the Titans had killed many people during their time around, and so had the Bijou. These 2 monsters almost fighting each other for dominance on who could be more disturbing, with the Titans being an ongoing threat, hurting humanity every day, while the Bijou were monsters of reckless chaos. It was a perfect fit for each other. Now that Minato had gained the Armored Titan, the Leaf now had attained one of the Great 9 Titans, as well as having possession of the 9 Tails, with Kushina being the 9 Tails Jinchuriki and Minato being the Armored Titan. It was a perfect fit. Minato would be one of the first ever Titan shifters not to be prejudiced against due to his famousness already as the Yellow Flash of the Leaf, and him being a famous warrior. It was the perfect fit for him, to be honest. With the Armored Titan being Minato's shield, Minato could use the Flying Raijin as well as the Rasengan still in this form, as well as other jutsu. He'd become an absolute monster on the battlefield, and it would be one of the Stone Village's greatest, heaviest losses, with them luckily still retaining the Colossal Titan in a young boy known as Deidara. Anyhow, Minato would now be the great shield for the Leaf, as he's the yellow flash of speed at his human form, as well as being a hard, heavy wall against the other villages that protects the Leaf. He would become the 4th Hokage, as he now has the power of the Armored Titan. He would slowly learn about this power more and more as he gained the memories of the past user, as well as the hardening techniques that he'd master slowly. Unfortunately, this power couldn't solve everything, however, as his own squad who would be in training, Kakashi, Rin, and Obito, would still fall prey to the Stone Village's attacks, as the Stone Village itself would have taken and killed Obito Uchiha, with Kakashi and Rin being the only ones to escape. Minato would curse himself for his failure, as he knows he could have saved them if he'd been there. Damn it. They did it to get at me, he would think, as Minato would recall how much hate the Stone Village had now given to the Leaf Village for stealing their power. Some time would pass, and Minato and Kushina would finally settle down after the Great Third Shinobi War had ended, with them having their own child, Naruto. With Minato and Kushina now having the baby boy, this would be when Madara Uchiha seemingly would attack the Leaf Village. As he appears with an orange tiger-striped mask, he would try and steal Naruto, the 4th Hokage's son. Minato would lash out as he uses his flying Raijin technique and saves Naruto. Kushina would be captured and the Nine Tails would be released, just as it happened in the original. Minato would arrive to fight the Nine Tails, but Obito would get in his way. "Get out of my way, Madara," he would say, as the masked man would stand in Minato's way. "I'm warning you," he would say, as he holds up his hand with his kunai next to it. "Oh? What are you going to do, great yellow flash of the leaf? You think you can kill me, the great Madara Uchiha?" he would say. As Minato would then say he doesn't have time for this, he would throw the kunai towards seemingly Madara, who would use Kamui, as he would then phase through the knife. Madara would then easily evade Minato's attacks, as Minato would finally understand what the Kamui is, as he would then hit him with that massive Rasengan like he had in the original. With Obito now leaving, Minato only had to take care of the Nine Tails. "Let's do this," he would say. He would bite down on his hand extremely hard, as he then feels the pain as he reaches forward towards the Nine Tails, thinking, "I have to capture it myself." Suddenly, we would see Minato transform into the Armored Titan, with great yellow locks, his eyes now steaming with a yellow light coming out of them, and steam bursting forth from his mouth. An animalistic roar would echo across the Leaf Village, as the villagers would cheer as the Armored Titan comes crashing through the city. Minato screams as he then tackles the Nine Tails, grabbing the Nine Tails' leg, with his form being much shorter than the Nine Tails, who's much, much taller. But Minato in this state has much more strength in his attack, as he pushes into the Nine Tails. It's about to throw a Bijou Bomb towards the village out of its mouth. With Minato grabbing the Nine Tails' leg and throwing it, the Nine Tails would spew the Bijou Bomb into the air, as Minato would then use hardening across his body to create his armor and make it even harder, as he begins punching the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails would shriek as it spews a claw towards Minato, trying to attack the Titan. With Kurama thinking in his head, all he can feel is rage, as he would attack the Titan who's battering him. Kushina would be running out with her son, Naruto, as she sees Minato battling the Nine Tails. She would run up as she tries to use chains to sedate the Nine Tails, but it would fail, as Minato would be running out of time soon, as his stamina was lowering from that fight with Obito. "Damn it," he would think, as we see inside of his Titan nape. Kurama would then try and turn around Minato and bite him in the neck. Minato would quickly guard this as he holds his hand up and punches Kurama in the jaw, sending him flying back and ramming into the side of the mountain. With Kurama now on the ground, Minato would jump on top of him, as he would then deactivate his form by using full hardening and creating a crystallized Titan. By using full hardening on his Titan form, he would have locked Kurama in place, as Kurama was now completely stuck, with this small weight trapping his leg, as well as a few of his tails. Kurama would be pinned against the side of the mountain as he tries to fight back, using all of his strength as he punches the Titan, shattering it. With Minato now on the ground, feeling himself weak after using the Titan transformation, he would tell Kushina to get it out. Kushina had already grabbed it, as she asked if he was sure. There she'd be holding one of the needles from the Stone Village, this serum that allowed one to retain the powers of a Titan. As Kushina would ask if he's certain, he would nod, telling her to do it, as he could use the Reaper Death Seal with all of his chakra, grabbing the Nine Tails and using it, and pulling its chakra out of its body by force. "Kushina, do it now!" As she would then, with regret, pierce her own baby son, crying as she's sorry and saying she's so sorry, Naruto would suddenly begin to transform as he turns into a small Titan, with Kushina using her chains to grab the Nine Tails to make sure it can't escape while Minato uses the Reaper Death Seal. Kushina would be eaten alive by Naruto eating his own mother, and then, as Minato presses the Nine Tails into Naruto's chest, Naruto would scream in rage as he then bites down on Minato, devouring him and taking the Armored Titan power for himself. Naruto at this point would have the full 9 tails due to Minato not even having time to see what happened to him and Naruto, so he had to rely on his son and the Armored Titan's power to keep him safe and fight the 9 tails. Naruto would be raised with even more prejudice than he had originally, because as him being one of the only known Jinchuriki who also possesses a Titan, he would become the Leaf Village's ultimate weapon, with him not even knowing about it. This would last only for a short time, however, as soon another would come to attain a Titan. We see Itachi Uchiha crying, as a few years after Minato's death, we see Shisui handing him his eye, as he then tells Itachi he wishes to pass on something else to him. Itachi, I want you to have my attack Titan, he would say. What? You can't be serious. Shisui, you can't. Danzo could never hurt you. You're one of our most prized weapons. And there's no way. He already took one of my eyes, Itachi. There's no way that I can protect the village any longer. I need you to take the Titan power of the attack Titan and use it to protect the Leaf and your younger brother Sasuke. Itachi would cry as he would take the Mangekyo from Shisui, as well as he would then take the syringe that Shisui handed to him, that he himself had stolen from Danzo, from the Black Ops and the Anbu, who had been creating this serum ever since Minato had attained Titan powers. Goodbye, my friend, Shisui would say as he tears up, his empty sockets now beginning to fill with tears, as he would then die, being eaten by Itachi. And so this would be how Itachi Uchiha would become the Attack Titan. Of course, no one would know what have happened to the Attack Titan actually, as everyone would have believed that Shisui would have died due to Shisui's committed suicide. People would chalk it up to Shisui having been given up after his 13 years after having the Attack Titan for so long, after they had already taken the Attack Titan from the Mist Village and had given it to an Uchiha. With Itachi now possessing the Attack Titan in secret, Itachi would know he doesn't have much time left, with only 13 years. His younger brother Sasuke would be older now, as Sasuke and Naruto are both around 5 or 6 when the Uchiha massacre is going to be taking place soon. Itachi would agree, as he would himself kill off the entire Uchiha clan. He could do this to everyone except one, his younger brother Sasuke. Itachi would transfer into the Attack Titan, ravaging and destroying all of the Uchiha with his pure, raw, beast-like strength. The entire area that the Uchiha had lived in had been massacred, as only craters remained from Itachi utilizing his Mangekyo Sharingan along with the Attack Titan. He had utilized Susanoo Attack Titan, the first ever Susanoo Attack Titan that had ever existed. This being combining the Susanoo from the Sharingan along with the Attack Titan created a monster of extreme size and power, with the Attack Titan multiplying the Susanoo's strength to become something even seemingly like a god. With Itachi destroying his village, he would slaughter his parents, as he would then deactivate out of his Titan form, realizing that he needed to get out of there. As he would then turn, seeing Sasuke, his younger brother, he would tell him that if he wanted to reclaim the Attack Titan for the Uchiha, then Sasuke, would have to gain enough hate for him, for the one who killed his whole family, and kill him himself to take his power. He must have the same eyes as he has if he wants to even stand a chance against him. Itachi would say this as his wounds begin to automatically heal that he had sustained from the attack. Sasuke would change from this point, and Naruto would notice it, as Naruto's young child had been even more secluded from the village, as the villagers thought of him as the ultimate monster, a titan beast of extreme strength, the armored fox. That's what was the nickname for him at the time, as he was a monster that had a Bijou and a Titan, the two most horrible monsters in this world. Disgusting, they would say. How does he even live with himself? He had to eat. Ugh. They would all sigh as they look away from him, fearing that he would go after them next or their families. Naruto would be alone, as he'd be in tears a lot as a young child before he'd realize that he only has himself to count on. He wouldn't even know that he had the 9 tails or the armored Titan. The only thing he would have is small memories of a man with yellow hair who could do incredible things like teleport, fly, almost like a flying thunder god. That's what he thought as he sees bright flashes of yellow in his mind, but he had no idea who this person was, as he only had retained some of the memories from the Armored Titan. With now Naruto growing up slowly in the academy, Sasuke would be envious of Naruto. You might be wondering why, but that would be because Naruto had the power of a Titan, the power his brother Itachi had possessed, something so powerful that had been able to slaughter the entire Uchiha clan. He wanted that power. He would stare at Naruto as he feels how jealous he was of Naruto for Naruto being able to not have a family to bind him to people, while Naruto was jealous of Sasuke for being so popular and having everyone support him, and Naruto wanted that. The two would still bond and become rivals like they would have in the original, with Naruto being slightly buffed and stronger since his regenerative abilities have been amped from the Titan form of the Armored Titan. Naruto's chakra control would be terrible, because little would he know that, for one, having a Titan amps your chakra, which is why it amps every cell in your body, causing Naruto to be at peak chakra pool levels, more so than any other kid his age. And he already had a humongous chakra pool from being an Uzumaki, and having the 9 tails. Yeah, he could not do barely even any jutsu. That clone he made in the original episode 1, he couldn't even manage that. That's how difficult to control his chakra was. After years of harassment and bullying, Naruto's dream would still have become for him to become the Hokage. I have to prove it to everyone that even though I'm the most hated kid in this entire village, that I can become the Hokage, and then they'll have to respect me, he would think, as he'd be looking at all his classmates with envy as they would go home to families and warm food. Naruto would warm up some ramen that night, as it was the day before the graduation ceremony. This time I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass for sure, he'd say. Even that damn clone jutsu won't stop me. He would stay up all night practicing the clone jutsu, and failing every single time, even though he wouldn't feel tired at all. Naruto would then wake up as he realizes he almost overslept, and runs at full speed to get to the academy. As Naruto arrives at the academy, he'd barely make as he opens the doors, crashing into the room and saying he's sorry he's late, with a lot of the kids laughing at him, with Naruto sighing. Naruto would sit in his desk, he holds his head down on his desk, thinking that was so stupid, and then he messed up like that. He would then get more angry as he looks up and holds his hand on his chin, saying that they don't matter anyway. As he then remembers a fight from the past, he looks down at Sasuke Uchiha, who wouldn't even be looking at Naruto at this point. Damn him, Naruto would think. What's so great about him anyway, Naruto would wonder, as he looks at Sasuke remembering their first fight. Sasuke and Naruto would be in that small circle as younger kids at the academy. Naruto would pound his fists together, telling Sasuke if he doesn't want to die, then he should leave him alone. Naruto would still be pretty rageful and spiteful at the villagers at this point, and he'd always be pissed off all the time, kind of like Bakugo from My Hero Academia, you could imagine. Naruto still wouldn't have given up, though, as he wants to try his best and become respected, and maybe kicking this Sasuke kid's butt would be one way to do it, as he looks over and sees all the girls cheering for Sasuke. Sasuke this, Sasuke that, big deal, watch this, he'd say. As he began walking to Sasuke, Sasuke began into a fighting stance. He tells Naruto to come at him. Naruto would begin running as he begins charging towards Sasuke, his eyes now becoming more aflame as he tells Sasuke that this is gonna hurt. Naruto would pull his fist back as he focuses into his hand all of his chakra into almost a plate-like pattern. This would cause hardening, as the Armored Titan is specialty in it. Naruto would begin to harden armor across his arm, as he would then proceed to slam his fist into Sasuke's guarded arm. Gah! Sasuke would scream in pain as he feels his bones shatter in his arm. Naruto's hardening would quickly disappear, as no one on his arm would even see the armor that had formed around it. As Naruto would say, "Yeah, that's what I thought," Sasuke would pull himself up and begin punching and kicking at Naruto. Naruto would be getting whooped at this point, but Sasuke with a broken arm is much less dangerous than Naruto with all 4 limbs, as the two would begin kicking and scratching at each other, with it getting pretty messed up, with Iruka having to step in and pull the two apart, saying that was nasty, with Naruto having cuts and bruises all over him, beginning to turn in steam as he began healing automatically. Everyone in the class would yelp as they see him and he looks at them screaming, "What? What's so wrong with that, huh?" While Sasuke would continue to look bloody and battered. Naruto would run away as the girls are telling Naruto to screw off, with Naruto being even more angry now that he'd won. He'd beaten Sasuke. What was so great about him anyway? He was weak, Naruto would think, as he runs away, thinking back on how jealous he is of Sasuke. Now it's time back to the present, as we see Naruto waiting for the graduation exam. Naruto would be thinking in his head, I have to pass. I have to become the greatest shinobi and become the Hokage. I'm never going to give up because that's my ninja way, he would think, as Naruto would have no other thing to push him forward. It would be time. Naruto already knew it would be the clone jutsu that would be the final jutsu that he needed to do to perform in order to finally be able to get past this stupid test. And of course, he would fail. Damn it! Naruto would think as Iruka's about to mark him out. No! Let me try again! Please! He would say as Naruto's desperate. Naruto would keep making the hand seal. Come on! Come on! He would say as he keeps making the hand seal tighter and tighter. He'd be screaming inside at this point as he's pushing his chakra together as hard as possible to create this clone. It's not working, he would think, as he breaks down, falling to the ground and punching the floor, shattering the wood as he then says, damn it, damn it! Iruka would tell him that he fails, with Naruto screaming saying he knows that, as he slams the door open and runs out of the classroom, with everyone watching as he ran off. He probably have failed again, right? Ino would say, with Sakura nodding say he's pretty much a loser. Sasuke would then stand up and tell them that they don't know what they're talking about, and that loser actually beat him once in a fight, he would say, as he then crunches his hand together, feeling rage from just remembering that moment when that loser beat him. It's all because he has that power, he would think, as he remembers the Attack Titan power that Itachi had. If he didn't have that Titan, I would have beaten him easily. Sasuke would think this as he feels rage boiling within him. Sasuke would pass the exam easily because his chakra control's better, and Naruto would then be approached by Mizuki after the end of the test. Hey, screw off, Mizuki-sensei. I don't even want to hear it, he would say as he's curled up on the swing. Well, that's no way to talk to an adult, Mizuki would be thinking. Damn this kid. Well, Naruto, there's actually another way to pass the test that Iruka didn't want to tell you about. Naruto would look up as his eyes are glimmering with hope. There's another way I can pass? What is it? I'll do anything, he would say as he then grabs Mizuki's shirt, asking him please to help him. Mizuki would then smile, telling Naruto that all he has to do is steal the scroll of sealing from the third Hokage's office and bring it to him. Then he'll have passed the test. Is that some sort of test on stealth? Naruto would think. He would then think about it, saying that he could do that. I'll steal from that old man and bring it right here. You wait for it, Mizuki-sensei, Naruto would say, as Mizuki would then tell him to meet him in the forest. Naruto would steal the scroll of sealing as he breaks into the office and runs off to find Mizuki, even more desperate than he was in the original. As he's on the ground learning and reading from the scroll, he would learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu just like he would have in the original, with him actually able to do it this time. Naruto would be shocked as he's able to use the jutsu, as he feels himself well up with pride, as he finally did it, cheering. Oh, so you got the scroll, huh? He would say, as the camera would turn, seeing Mizuki from behind of a kunai against Naruto's neck. Naruto would be thinking, give me the scroll and I won't kill you, he would say. But, Mizuki-sensei, wasn't this a way to— Shut up! Give me the scroll now, Mizuki would tell him. Naruto would slowly bend over as he picks up the scroll and is about to hand it to Mizuki. Iruka would then jump in as he tells Naruto no, and Naruto would pull the scroll back, as Mizuki would try and stab Naruto in the neck. Naruto would get cut in the neck as he feels the blade go right through. He would feel pain as he then jumps back, feeling himself automatically healing as his Titan powers would do that for him. His neck, which had a small cut from the blade before Iruka had stepped in, would now have already healed by the time Iruka was now in the middle. Naruto, run with that scroll and don't turn back. Iruka-sensei? Naruto would be thinking, what's going on? Isn't this a way I can pass the test? No, get out of here now, Naruto. There's no way I'm leaving you, he would say. Now! Mizuki would throw a shuriken towards Naruto, with Iruka turning and jumping, taking the blast of the shuriken for him, as he feels the cut go right through his spine. Iruka? Iruka-sensei? Naruto would be shocked as his eyes are shaking. No. Naruto's hand would be covered in blood, as he hears the moans from the villagers talking about how Naruto killed his own sensei. No, god damn it! That's not happening! I'm not gonna let you die! He would say, as he recalls memories of the man with blonde hair, feeling some sort of rage boil through when he sees him, thinking that this might not even be his own emotion. Damn it! Naruto would feel this as he then cuts his hand on the shuriken. Suddenly, a blast of lightning would come from the sky above, as Naruto would transform into the armored Titan. Mizuki would now be falling to the ground as he tells him that he knew it. He knew that that brat was nothing but the armored fox, the holder of the nine-tailed fox, and the armored Titan, two of the worst monsters in this world. Naruto would say, Shut up! I'm going to break every bone in your body. This deeper voice would come echoing out of the armored Titan's open jaw, as Naruto began to charge using his physical strength and speed. Damn it! Mizuki would try and dodge out of the way, but Naruto would form his hands into the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Suddenly, the Armored Titan would pop out of nowhere, as another Armored Titan would come out as being a Shadow Clone. Naruto could feel an immense drain on his chakra, as creating a Shadow Clone of this size would take a lot more chakra than making a normal Shadow Clone.
Let's do it!
The two would say together, as they throw two equal punches, a right and left hook directly at Mizuki, punching him and shattering most of his ribs as he gets sent flying into a tree and is sprawled on the ground. Naruto would roar as he takes victory and is about to run over and slam into Mizuki, killing him, before he regains his senses and realizes what's going on. Where am I? He'd be thinking as he's looking around inside of himself, screaming and feeling the heat around him as he has these weird muscly things connected to his face. What's going on? What is this? Naruto would be thinking as we suddenly see Kakashi. Kakashi would be behind Naruto as he uses a kunai and says, "Don't worry," as he would take the kunai and slice out the nape from the Armored Titan, grabbing Naruto from within and pulling him out, with Naruto passing out unconscious almost immediately as the Armored Titan's body began to dissipate and turn to ash. Kakashi would have been summoned immediately with Naruto having stolen the scroll, as Naruto being a much higher target than he would have been in the original would have been definitely too valuable for the Leaf to lose, especially after they had lost the Attack Titan. With Naruto being the Armored Titan and the only Titan left, as well as the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, Kakashi would have been summoned to take him out and take him back to the village. He'd grab the scroll Sing and also Iruka and make sure he was alright, with Iruka in the hospital telling Naruto how much he cared about him, and he would give him the headband himself after he had saw that amazing attack that Naruto did, and he even used a Shadow Clone that size. Naruto would ask, "What is he?" as Iruka would tell him that Naruto is just his student, and he'd put a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto would cry, not knowing how to react, saying that he'd never had anyone ever treat him like that before, as he'd give Iruka a hug, with Iruka saying he's sorry for treating Naruto like everyone else had, as he would tell Naruto about what had happened to his parents from the Nine Tails, and it wasn't Naruto's fault, and that Naruto wasn't a monster. Naruto would cry in Iruka's arms, with Iruka telling Naruto it was okay, and Naruto would pass, the next day telling Iruka that he's sorry he was such a crybaby, with him heading into the academy as he opens the doors with the surprise of his classmates, stating loudly that he had passed the graduation exam. And that's all I have apparently for the part 1 for What If Naruto was a Titan Shifter. If you guys want another part for What If Naruto was a Titan Shifter, and you like this version a lot better, I do, then make sure to slap the like button to show the support and comment below what you thought. If you like this version and the other one better, thank you guys so much. I thought the script would be a little bit longer, but it wasn't, so this is all I have for now that I had written up from when I had originally made this draft a few weeks ago. Hopefully this version of the story is much more originally connecting to the Naruto timeline better. I'll be getting more into the Eldians as well as Ymir and stuff in future parts if this is well received, so hopefully this does well. And yeah, if another part comes out, that means that everyone liked it and that I like it too. So I already started scripting for the next part, which will be including the Bell test as well as other things like the Land of Waves arc, which will be interesting. Anyhow, that's about it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. It's crazy. And hit the notification bell if you want to see all my future videos, since YouTube's drunk most of the time. Don't tell them I said that. But that's it. I hope everyone has a great day. I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.